gospel reading is quite long, and so I have no objection for you to be sitting while I read it. This is the gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias. And he showed himself in this way. Gathered there together were Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, "I am going fishing." They said to him, "Well, we'll go with you." They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just after daybreak, Jesus stood on the beach, but the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to them, "Children, you have no fish, have you?" They answered, "No." He said to them, "Cast the net tonight on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because there were so many big fish. That disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on some clothes, for he was naked. He jumped into the sea. But the other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, only about 100 yards off. When they had gone ashore, they saw a charcoal fire there with a fish on it, and bread. And Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish that you have just caught." So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore full of large fish, 153 of them. And though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." Now none of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" because they knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. When they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." A second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the 3rd time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter felt hurt because he said to him the 3rd time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep. Very truly I tell you, when you were younger, you used to fasten your own belt and to go everywhere you wished. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will fasten a belt around you and take you where you're to go, maybe where you not wish to go." He said this to indicate the kind of death by which he would glorify God. After this he said to them, "Follow me." This is the gospel of our Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
So, Reverend Howard Olds says that some people say life is like an ice cream cone. The moment you think you have it licked, it drips on you. Do we have some regrets? Yes, of course. I have a few. How about you? Mistakes? Of course. I've made my share of them. When it comes to faults and failures, how can we find our way through? We catch up with Simon Peter today back in Galilee, and he's fishing and catching absolutely nothing. The same Peter who saw the empty tomb firsthand and encountered the risen Christ in person is now back where he started. Back doing what he knows, fishing. And I think this is sort of like human nature, isn't it? When we miss the mark, or when we aren't successful at doing something that we really wanted to do, it seems natural to isolate ourselves and go back to things that we feel comfortable with. When Adam ate the apple, he went into hiding. The prodigal son finds himself feeding pigs, and no one gave him anything. And Peter deals with his denial by going fishing. So why do we fail? Why do we have mistakes? And the reasons are absolutely enormous. Maybe it has to do with power. Peter was a natural-born leader. He thought he could walk on the water and never hesitated when it came to jumping out of the boat. There are times when our strengths can become greater than our weaknesses. Sometimes we're too proud to admit that we make mistakes. The last time Jesus and Peter shared a meal together, it was in the upper room. Jesus was talking about self-denial and service and sacrifice. And Jesus wonders out loud if the disciples have what it takes. Peter responds, "Even if all fall away, I will not." Oh, what false notions we come to hold about ourselves. And then there's the pressure of our society. The campfire by the sea had to remind Peter of another campfire in the courtyard, for there, warming himself by the fire, Peter denied his Lord. Some folks say there was a woman to blame, but Peter knew it was his own fault. Temptations are real, temptations are strong, temptations are bound to come along in life. And remember, the rooster crowed. The Bible that calls us all sinners goes to great lengths to convince us that we are still salvageable. God so loved the world that he gave his Son. And now why? Because we are worth it. I'll tell you a little personal story. When I was in nursing school at St. Joe's Hospital in Guelph, my classmates asked me to be on the student council and bring to the council certain issues on their behalf. This was our first year of 3-year training program, and the first meeting I said, "The rules of this school of nursing are right out of the ark." Who would think that 18-year-olds would have to be in a residence by 10 o'clock on a Friday night? And what about these horrible brown nylons that we have to wear? My goodness, having to wear a skirt out of a residence. We're changing in the cars as we go to ball games and to the frat parties at the vet college. I just finished my requests to the other members that were there in the council, and the director of nursing, who was a nun by the name of Sister Marie Vianney, she said, "Miss Vano, I would like to see you in my office immediately after this meeting." Well, I was really upset about this because I could see that she was pretty angry. My mom had raised me to not take anything from anyone, to speak my mind and stick up for people who were being picked on. So I was really sticking up for my classmates, I thought. You see, I wasn't raised in a Roman Catholic environment, so I didn't have any fear of nuns at all. And so that didn't help the situation. So I went to her office and I sat down, and she did this with her veil. And she told me in no uncertain terms that the door that let me in there could just absolutely let me out. This is only my first month there. So she said, "You're too assertive, and you need to learn the fine art of negotiating." And she said, "However, I think you're salvageable." True. And so after each meeting, she would ask me to think about how I say certain things and how I could improve on saying certain things. And she became a sort of a coach. She was amazing. She was like an angel on my life's path. Absolutely. Merle told me to add this little bit. There's still a little bit of that, I won't take any you know what from people. just so you know. I haven't lost that. Grace is the gracious hand of a loving God reaching out to us and saying, could we start again? Please, could we start again? Grace is God Almighty saying, I love you anyway. Grace fits faulty people. If you can restore old cars and beat up furniture and make some of us look a little bit better than we are, can you begin to imagine what God can do for us? Restore us. Remember how it is stated in that Psalm 23. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Restores my soul. Maybe our church is sort of like a hospital for souls. Do you get that? It's a place for people who've messed up, maybe fallen short, maybe thought they weren't salvageable, done wrong, needed help. It's a place here for people just like you and just like me. Amen. 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 Now we're going to sing the hymn of the day. You have the words, I think, in your package. Better get my name up there. Okay, let's stand and sing this. This is a song that was written by Stuart Hamblin. Maybe some of you know those people, you know him. And it was made famous actually by Elvis Presley. The chimes of time ring out the news, another day is through. Someone slipped and fell. Was that someone you? They have long for eyes, her courage to renew. Do not keep his heart, for I have his for you. It is no secret what God can do. Love's not for others, living for you. With arms wide open, you are in you. It is no secret what God can do. There is no life for in this life you'll never walk alone. Always feel at home wherever you may roam. There is no power to conquer you, or God is on your side. Just take him at his promise, don't run away and hide. It is no secret what God can do. What's that for others, he'll do for you. With arms wide open, he'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. Very nice. Thank you.